Welcome to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, mindset coach and imposter syndrome expert, and I'm here to tell you that imposter syndrome isn't a life sentence. It's just a dysfunctional way of thinking. If you feel like your ideas are unoriginal, that your message isn't necessary or important, or like you're a complete and total fraud, then you've come to the right place. Time to kick your inner imposter to the curb and create life-changing results for you and your clients. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I am coming to you from my couch as I am working my full-time job because this was just on my brain and I needed to share it with you. Something that I was thinking about was how we as women, because I'm assuming that the majority of the people who listen to this podcast are women identifying, and something that I noticed that I needed to get through myself was the fact that I believed that I wasn't deserving or worthy of praise, of compliments, of somebody helping me. And this went a lot deeper than just like, oh, I didn't think I was like worthy of receiving like a compliment or worthy of receiving help or whatever. And this came up when I was doing a tapping session with Gala Darling during one of her tapping calls, and I realized how uncomfortable I am with receiving. Now, this is something that I've touched on before in my life, like just in terms of like receiving a compliment is difficult or receiving praise or a compliment or whatever. I always need to respond. Like I always need to be like, oh, here's a compliment for you, or here, this is how I feel about you. You know what I mean? Like I could never just receive the abundance. I was always pushing it away. For example, when I got engaged to Dustin, so my dad has an electronic repair shop, and one of his workers like really loves Dustin. Dustin has been working with my dad ever since the COVID pandemic happened because Dustin's job is contingent on the public being open, and with our province being shut down the majority of the time, he hasn't been able to work. So my dad was like, hey, you can come and help out at the shop. So this worker really loves Dustin, and he gave him like $100 Walmart gift card for us for our engagement. And when I saw my dad a couple days later, I was like, oh my God, it was so nice of your worker to give us a gift card. And Dad was like, yeah, I know, like he has a really hard time making ends meet. And I was like, oh, and I felt so bad and immediately was like, I want to give this gift card back. Even when I heard that he had given us the gift card, I'm like, oh my God, like what can I do? And the same thing for when we moved into our new place in the beginning of April. The downstairs tenant came upstairs and cleaned our entire kitchen for us because it was filthy from the old people, but it was filthy. And this downstairs tenant, this beautiful Dominican man, came upstairs and was like, I'm going to clean for you. And he cleaned the entire kitchen, and I got him a gift card. And I guess within his culture, he saw it as we were paying him. And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm just showing you like thanks and gratitude. And it really had me thinking about receiving and just feeling like I need to constantly give back whenever I receive something. And this had me thinking about a coach that I had who she said that the way to receive abundance is to give to somebody else, is to give. She said, I give thousands of dollars in charity donations and everything. And here's where it would fuck me up. It fucked me up because I was constantly feeling bad about not being able to give back to my community or give back to people, be able to spread my gratitude. And this would cause me to spend way too much money at Christmas time each year, put myself into debt each year, because I just felt like I needed to give in order to receive. But what I found was that I needed to take care of myself first. So I was going in this loop of I don't take care of myself in order to sacrifice my receiving for other people, and then I feel like shit and I can't actually open myself to receiving abundance, because even when I do, I am thinking of ways to pay it back, or I'm thinking like, oh, how am I going to repay this person, or I have to give them a compliment back or something like that, you know what I mean? So that's what was happening for me. Again, it caught me in this loop of I need to be able to give greatly before I can receive. But when I'm taken care of, I'm able to give with like reckless abandon. Like I'm able to be like, here, I want to do this for you and this for you and this for you, but I needed to take care of myself first. And if I didn't think that I was worthy of receiving love, receiving praise, receiving compassion, even from myself, like giving myself praise and giving myself the validation that I needed and letting myself rest, just receiving on all levels, that unworthiness associated to my inability to receive was affecting my ability to receive, but also was affecting the long-term game in terms of being able to take care of other people. And I was feeling bad about it. So let me break this down, okay? I was feeling bad that I wasn't able to give back to my community or give back to other people or be super generous. But what was happening was I didn't feel worthy of receiving in the first place, and I had to start with receiving for myself so I could be taken care of before I can give to other people. And I think this is something that is talked about. I think people talk about like self-love a lot and shit like that, but like, you know, on this podcast, in my programs, we get to the nitty-gritty of like, why don't you fucking think you deserve love and compassion and rest? There's something there. There's something there, and it is blocking your ability to receive on all levels. If you have a hard time receiving from yourself, imagine what it's going to look like when somebody tries to give you something else. I want you to sit there right now and imagine me handing you a $10,000 check. What feelings come up for you? What limiting beliefs come up like, I didn't work for this? I'm not supposed to receive this. Oh my God, let me give you a thank you card. Let me show my gratitude. I need to spend this in an abundant way. I need to hold on to it. I need to hoard it. What comes up for you? Because I implore you to look at your beliefs around receiving. This will really open up your ability to receive, and then you have to start with yourself. You have to start with yourself and look at where you need to teach yourself to receive in the way of love and compassion, support, rest, rejuvenation, pleasure. You need to look at all of that and remember that once you are fully taken care of and fully satiated and satisfied, that is when you can give and spill over into other people. You can have more than enough, and that allows you to spill over to other people. It's the same thing with that airplane analogy. You have to put your mask on before somebody else, and you have to eat your food before you can give it to somebody else. We need to take care of ourselves, and taking care of ourselves is what makes the world a better place, because when we feel good and happy and satisfied and loving and compassionate towards ourselves, that spills over into other people. And I think we also need to look at any internalized misogyny that you may have around the selfishness of women, because we have to take back and own the fact that it's not selfish to exist. And I think that's something that really hits for me, because I was brought up looking at other people who did things for themselves. Like my grandma goes and gets her hair done like once a week for the last 50 years. She's done this. And the men in my family comment on it like, oh, grandma's got to get her hair done. It was seen as selfish when a woman would do something for herself or spend time alone. Even in today's society with women that have children, sometimes they'll feel bad for like taking an hour by themselves or wanting alone time. And we have to realize that there's a very big difference from being selfish and needing to recharge and needing alone time and needing to fill your own cup. And I feel like I used to think that this stuff was so overplayed and be like, well, duh, of course you need to fill your own cup. But until we look at that need to be a little bit selfish with ourselves, and not selfish in a bad way, selfish in knowing that when you are your best self, you spill over into all areas of your business, you spill over into all areas of your relationships. And this is something that's really, really important for you to remember if you're going to receive. If you're going to allow yourself to receive, you need to look at the unworthiness around receiving and around being and just existing and doing the things that you want to do, instead of beating yourself up whenever you do anything for yourself, whenever you buy anything for yourself. Something that I identified with my coach was I will buy myself things and I'll do things for myself. I'll get a massage, I'll go get my nails done, I'll do all these things, but then I'll punish myself for it. I'll make myself feel bad about it. And then it ruins the experience because I made myself feel bad about it, being like, I don't deserve this. I realized I had a big block around deserving and receiving without any reciprocation, without any ties to me taking an action. So this gift card from my dad's worker, even though, yes, my dad did say, oh, like he's having a hard time making ends meet, my partner said thank you. He was really thankful and he has our gratitude. And he knows, like, if he didn't want to do that, he didn't have to, right? So I think it's just really important to remember that we can still be grateful and we can still say thank you, but receiving is in direct proportion to how you allow yourself to receive. And it is directly related to your beliefs around what you're worthy of receiving and how worthy you feel of being given whatever it is you need or want. So to recap, look at your beliefs around worthiness when it comes to receiving. Look at any internalized misogyny when it comes to selfishness and being a woman, and look at your like family ties and stuff like that, because patriarchy lives in us all. And just really take a step back. If you feel like you're not receiving what you want through your business, we need to look at your receiving in general, because remember, it all blends together. Everything is related. And the belief work is the work, because once you believe that you are worthy of receiving and having love, you see the opportunities for it more, you're open to it more, and your thoughts change about it, which changes your actions, which creates results. I hope you guys loved that episode. And just a reminder that the Worthy Woman Method is open for enrollment. This is my lifetime access group coaching program focusing on business mindset, identity, and business growth for entrepreneurs to help you use your thoughts and beliefs in a conducive, helpful way, in an empowering way to help you create the epic results that you want to create in your online business. So this is for entrepreneurs. All entrepreneurs, come one, come all. And I truly believe that we all need this work. We all need the thought work. We all need the belief work. We all need to feel safe and consistent when it comes to our businesses. It is out of the norm to be an online entrepreneur. We're doing different shit, and that means that you need to get in the room with other people who are doing the same thing as you, and you need to consistently assess your thoughts and beliefs in order to create an empowered lifestyle for yourself. Become a worthy woman. And that means becoming the next level version of you over and over again in order to hit the goals that you set out for yourself at the beginning of every year or at every month. And I don't want you to be disappointed. I want you to hold those high standards for yourself, and I want you to create an identity for yourself that fits the mold, that fits those huge goals that you have for yourself. And that's what we do inside the Worthy Woman Method. Again, it is a lifetime access group coaching program that is centered around business mindset, identity, and the long-term and longevity growth when it comes to your business. So, link is in my show notes to apply for the Worthy Woman Method. The price will be going up the next time that we enroll. But once you're in for life. It is literally a no-brainer. Link in my show notes. And I can't wait to see your applications and to see you inside the Worthy Woman Method. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Check out the show notes to get started on your free 3-day challenge to overcome your inner imposter. Once you're done listening today, screenshot this episode and share it to your Instagram story, tagging me at YourCoachJill so I can share it on my page. See you next time.